Hey y'all, my name is Ann Wyatt. I started my career in workforce development with the state of Kentucky in 2010. That experience ignited a deep passion for manufacturing within me. I started this show hoping to raise more awareness around the bright outlook manufacturing careers have. Join me as I sit down with some of the manufacturing industry's most successful changemakers and learn how they're partnering people with technology. It's time to give people more meaningful work. This is Workforce 4.0. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Workforce 4.0. This is your host, Ann Wyatt, and I'm joined today by the one, the only, Christelle Keefer from ABB. Christelle, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing well, Ann. Thanks for having me.
Oh gosh, Christelle, thank you so much for being on the show today. I have been a fangirl of yours for so long, and it means so much to me that you carved out the time.
Thanks. Always time for Ann, so I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So you have been in the robotics industry for a while now. You're always at the trade shows. You've gotten into making content yourself, which I always really enjoy seeing on my feed. But you are very passionate about the next generation of the workforce, and we'll get more into that. But for whatever reason, if there's someone out there that's listening today and they're not familiar with yourself and your amazing talents, by the way, can you give them a little bit more information about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm the global segment manager for education at ABB Robotics, and I'm blessed to be in this role. My passion comes from knowing that today's students are tomorrow's workforce. You know, technology is evolving so fast. There's jobs that may not even exist yet. And knowing that it's our responsibility to help prepare the next gen for success is super cool. It's super awesome to be part of that mission. And teachers play a vital role in building that foundation. Without teachers, we wouldn't have any profession. You know, the teachers are the strong foundation that we have to, as industry, partner with them, support them. So that's where, that's pretty much what I do is I am connecting with educators, students, and industries to support teachers and students to help close the skills gap and really build a stronger future for all of us.
I love that so much, Christelle. And I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, we have got to be focused on tomorrow's workforce, and that's the students of today. And teachers are, a vital piece of bridging that talent gap that we talk about so much on this show. Absolutely. Well, I am really looking forward to getting into all of that with you and kind of uncovering some more of your thoughts on that and how we go about that. But before we do so, there is one Workforce 4.0 tradition that we have to establish here.
And what is that? What are we doing?
Well, music is my love language, Christelle.
Okay.
I love music. Yes. And we love some karaoke here on Workforce 4.0. And I gotta know, because I could actually see this happening in the near future. Us going out and to a karaoke bar. I feel like we would excel at that, actually. But when we do that, what is going to be your go-to karaoke song?
Go-to karaoke song. I would say Spice Girls all the way. Wannabe, but let's give it if and when this happens, let's give it a robotics twist, and we'll start with "If you want to be my robot, you gotta code with my friends."
Yeah, code with my friends.
Innovation never ends. So there you go. A little bit of.
I love it. Can I get up there with you? Can I?
Absolutely.
Can we go together?
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, for sure.
I love that. I love that you made it robot centric.
Yeah, for sure.
That was the most creative karaoke song that I've heard. And for the rest of you, step up. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, I love that so much. And I love how passionate you are about the robotics space. But the work that you do is so critical. And again, because it's one thing to say we need to complain. It's one thing for companies to complain. We can't find the talent. No one wants to go into manufacturing anymore. It's another thing for educators to say, hey, we don't have the resources and we don't know what we're doing. We're teachers. We're not roboticists. So it's a whole other thing for a company to take it upon themselves and take action in bridging the talent gap. And I know that that has to come with its share of challenges.
Yeah, for sure. And I 100% agree with you. You can complain all day long, but the biggest thing is to take action. And one of the biggest challenges is how quickly technology is moving. It's amazing. So, some teachers are being asked to teach robotics when, this may be their first experience, and that can really feel overwhelming. So I like to focus on making sure the teachers feel confident, because when the teachers feel supported, then the students can thrive. And as you had mentioned, another challenge is awareness. So, we know that hands-on shop classes disappeared from a lot of schools, which is really disappointing. And that change and that gap left a lot of students without early exposure to technical skills, without the chance for them to see themselves in these kinds of careers. So looking ahead, I think the challenge is scaling up opportunities so students, wherever they live, whatever their background, they have the chance to explore this field. And, that's critical, because it's been, 2.1 million US manufacturing jobs could remain unfilled by 2030. And many of those are technician roles that don't require a 4-year degree, but they do require strong hybrid skills in mechanics, electronics, and coding. So it really takes a team effort, pouring into the teachers, pouring into the next generation, building those relationships, those partnerships, and then driving with technology. I mean, you live and you learn. So some of the teachers that I talked to were like, we learn with students and I learn together. We make mistakes together and we learn, and we recover. And that's the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you fail forward, right? And it's, we talked about this a little bit at Automate this year when we were doing Automate Live together, you, myself, and Carrie Giles. And we kind of had this idea just in the moment of, what those jobs will look like in the future, and how do we prepare to excel at those jobs. And you make a really good point. I mean, failure to some degree is inevitable. So how do you get ahead of that?
Continually asking questions, learning, taking training, having mentors, people who may not have the answers all the time, but again, you're learning together and moving as you move forward and bouncing ideas off each other. I think diversity is, eliminating groupthink by having a diverse group of individuals from different departments, HR, engineering, project management, product management, all coming together to discuss a challenge and then moving forward through that challenge with the diverse ideas and, cultural backgrounds and things like that, I think is a great way to drive change.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you bring up groupthink, and how easy it's so easy to get stuck in groupthink. But I mean, it is it, and there's the whole philosophy that if you have diverse viewpoints and perspectives on how to do things, you're not only creating a more inclusive culture, but you're also creating a better product, because you're getting the point of view from everyone, and not just what's always been kind of the acceptable
100%
answer.
100%.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
You work a lot with the kids hands-on, right? I'm always seeing you like out and working with schools and things like that. So you've got a lot of like hands-on experience, like in-person experience, working directly with the kids, the youths. And I know that we both have this whole mother thing going, like we love like just bragging about how successful our kids are, is kind of our viewpoint.
Yeah.
But what's one of the best experiences you've ever had working with the next generation?
It's hard to pick one, but my favorite moments are when I see people interact with a robot. You can really see the spark, the excitement, the amazement, and they realize I can do this. One story that does stay with me is about a girl who was part of a first robotics team that I was mentoring. And I invited this team several times to visit ABB to get hands-on experience with our robot. And then, later on in the afternoon, her mom texted me one day and said, Her daughter had been thinking about leaving the robotics team, but after the ABB visits and seeing the encouragement and me cheering them on, I made videos for the team just to cheer them on. My daughter was in these videos as well. I was genuinely proud of the team because they were doing it. I mean, they weren't just working on a robot. They were out there in the community. They were doing volunteer work. So I was just, like you said, a proud mom. So the support I provided during their competitions and during the first robotics season changed this young girl's mind. And her mom told me now she either wants to work at ABB someday or be a famous singer. So it's really moments like that matter, because they show what happens when students can actually build something and be out there in the real world and be challenged. And, programs like First Robotics and Vex Robotics are really proving the impact. I know in the 2023-24 season, 785,000 students around the world participated in First Robotics competitions, learning to design and wire and code and problem solve under pressure. So that's the kind of confidence and curiosity that changes a student's outlook on their future. So let's continue to make these best experiences for everyone.
I love that so much. So were you coaching this team, or were you just involved? Your daughter was on the team too?
My daughter was not on the team. So this was a middle school team and my daughter's still in elementary school, but I was ABB sponsored the team, and I was pretty much like a mentor for them and going to some of the competitions and some of the meetings. And supporting the parents were the coaches for the team. Yeah, but it was a great experience. And I'm actually going to be involved with them this year as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's what I was thinking, that Phoenix and your daughter were around the same age. Because
she's going to be 9. Emily will be 9 in November.
Phoenix will be 9 October 27th.
All right. So very close.
Yeah. Super close. So that's what I was thinking. But then, okay, so you're like the team sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I'm definitely want to be the team mother. Is that a thing in First Robotics? Can you just be like the team mom, bring all the snacks?
Yeah.
Like the baseball equivalent of.
Yeah. Team mom / cheerleader. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think most sponsors are probably that involved, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that like a normal thing for the sponsors to be the cheerleader?
Typically not, unless you have your child in the teams. You don't typically see that, but I think it's something within you that, is a passion of yours. If you love being around technology and kids, then there are some people that don't have kids in these clubs that are just pouring their heart and soul into it and going above and beyond because they see that they can make a difference in these kids' lives, regardless of if they're related or not. So it takes an individual passionate about it or that has a child in the team. But I think, even if you're not super into being in a robotics club, or you don't have the time for First Robotics, you can be there to judge. You can just show up for one of the competitions. You can also just have a conversation with a student and go to their class and talk about your career path. So it's not that complicated. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take much time. But it's once you get into it, you'll see how rewarding it is. And I think it will start to be passion for more and more people when they see these students get inspired by you and your story.
I love that. I love that so much. I mean, your involvement, you just going the extra mile in that case, changed probably her whole life trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel?
That's pretty sweet, unless she becomes a famous singer, then we'll be karaokeing together, you, me, and her. So, but it's amazing to just have people reach out and say, hey, I get this a lot on LinkedIn where people will send me messages and say, can you take a phone call? Can we talk? I just need to know, you're an inspiration. Can we meet up? And I'm always happy to do that because it doesn't take very much time. And it's always great to see, even if a student or an adult doesn't get into robotics and automation, it's just great to see them succeed and progress moving forward. So yeah, it doesn't take much effort or time. And being with others, it makes life a little easier because life can be hard sometimes. So let's just smile and be kind.
I know. Sometimes I think about that.
Yeah.
Like we're all just on this rock,
Yeah.
hurling through space, just trying to survive, man, I'm the same way. That's my philosophy too. You never know what somebody's going through when you're talking to them,
For
and
sure.
yeah, if you can do that, it's worth it. Well, you've accomplished a lot in your career. I would say you are definitely girl boss goals.
No.
For me, I consider you a role model. I think you're amazing. So I hope you know that. But you seem like a high performer, a high achiever. You've done a lot in your career. Hopefully, I can also do a lot. You have to kind of get to this point. I don't know if you feel this way because like I said, I mean, I'm a high achiever too. But do you ever feel like what's next? Do you ever get to that point where you're like, okay, I've checked that box and I've done this and I've put in the work here and, I'm growing the way that I want to grow. But what happens when you get to that point and you're like, what's next? And where else do I want to go? What does that look like for you? Has that ever happened to you?
There's my list is never ending, so there's always something
Right.
next to do. But I am extremely driven like yourself, and thank you so much for the compliments. I appreciate it. But as far as like what do I want to achieve next in my career, I would
Yeah.
say accessibility. I want to keep building global partnerships that connect education with industry. And I really want to expand on programs that give both students and teachers the skills they need for careers in robotics and automation and the future of technology as well. So really important that we inspire more women and unrepresented groups to see themselves in this field. My bigger vision is to make robotics education accessible to all students, not just those in well-funded schools or districts. Too many kids miss out because their
Mm.
school doesn't have the resources, and the teacher, with a teacher shortage, it makes it even harder. So we know there's the Perkins Fund. We know the U.S. invests billions each year in career and technical education, but the real challenge is making sure that money creates meaningful learning experiences. So things like modern equipment, strong training and support for teachers, partnerships with industry, and clear pathways to careers. My goal is really to help those opportunities become available everywhere and be inclusive. So every student can see themselves in an inclusive future that's part of robotics and automation. I think, we had mentioned the shop classes are gone, but some kids they can't be part of First Robotics. They don't have the transportation. They can't stay after school. Their parents don't have money. How do we tackle that? Well, I think one option would be incorporating that back into the curriculum. And yes, you need funding for that. You do need teachers. You do need the resources. But if that's where our economy is going, and then we need to focus less on all the testing and beating the grades on the test, and really focus on what is our future realistically look like. And if that's robotics, automation, technology, AI, then that needs to be the classroom needs to reflect a more real world environment.
You would think.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, yes, she
Yeah.
said the thing. So yeah. So I feel the exact same way. Sometimes does your daughter have homework yet?
They just started this past week. Yes, this past week. So
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. So we're doing some kind of math. Math is never, and that's a thing too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're really gonna have to like bridge that gap with the math skills because math was a big deterrent, I know for myself. But we're doing this fun new math.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like at the end of the day, if we're going into engineering, like it's like theoretical math
Yeah.
almost. It's like strategic math is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how much time do we really need to spend on this versus like actual things, actual math
Right.
that they need. Not to say that we don't need math, we certainly do. But applying that in a strategic way, where a real strategic way, where we're thinking about like the real life scenarios. And I mean, it is going in that direction. And as a parent, do you ever get frustrated with that?
Yeah, I think fun gets more done. So that's why I truly believe in incorporating real world challenges into projects, and also having, even if you have a competition during the school day, that the kids are working toward, or a project during the school year, that teaches them more than the topic at hand, more than just the technical mathematical skills. They're learning critical thinking. They're learning how to work with people that have diverse ideas, that have diverse cultures, that they may not always get their way, but they have to work together to find a solution, and collaborate with others. And then there's the pressure aspect of meeting a deadline. So whatever that deadline may be, I think that's more impactful than just your standard black and white mathematical equations throughout the full semester. Not to say, I mean, you still have to learn the basics, but once you learn the basics, let's move on and let's make it fun. And then we'll challenge the students to learn even more about themselves as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of my take too. It's going to take a lot of convincing from people, I think. How do we do that? How do we drive that change? Because that really is the change, and that really is the real change that needs to happen. What in your opinion is going to drive that change? How do we get there?
I think having industry pour into education and into the communities and into meeting and being part of education boards and the counties that they're a part of, and really communicating the value of that and where our future is going may help drive that change. But there has to be a collaboration, a partnership, a relationship where industry's pouring in and getting involved with others in the community, not just standing behind their industry walls and complaining that the students aren't up to par on what they need. So if you're going to complain, do something about it. And to do something about it, is to get involved and be consistent. It's not just a one-time show up, complain, or provide your opinion. It's a consistently showing up, supporting, and driving it forward with the government, with, multiple different avenues.
Absolutely. I love that. See, I feel like we're on the same page there. Like if you're going to complain, then you better be able to, you better be ready to do something about it.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you done about it?
If not now, then when?
That's right.
Yeah.
If not now, then when?
Yeah.
And hopefully before it's too late.
For sure.
In all seriousness. So, how's ABB doing that? Are you all working with the school boards and things like that?
Yeah, so we're involved with several universities and being on their committees that they have. We also offer internships, rotational programs, co-ops. We have an ABB foundation where we'll sponsor first robotics teams, and we invite, if someone's local or even if they're not local, we invite them into wherever the local facility is to come tour our facilities. We'll go out and talk to students at their schools. We've done competitions throughout the world. Thailand, ABB Thailand just had a super awesome competition. We've had them in Poland and other places throughout the world as well. So really, we are investing our time and our resources to pour into the educators, the students. Our team at ABB Spain will have a teacher workshop every summer where they'll train teachers to get them ready for the school year. So there's a lot of different things that we're doing. Supporting Girl Scouts of America and getting them a little badge, a patch that's like robotics or something like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. It's good stuff.
Oh,
yeah. So walking the talk.
Cool. Walking the talk.
Yeah.
That's right. Have you seen any productivity on that yet? Is there any use cases that you want to share with us, like success stories in doing that yet? Or is that something y'all just started?
No, we've been doing it for a while, but I mean, you'll see, I guess what comes to mind is we have I won't name the university, but we have a university where we've been partners with them. We have several universities. We've partnered with them for a long time, but we've actually hired a lot of the students from that university. So that's a huge reward to be able to say, and some of those students started off as interns and now they're in upper management positions, engineering managers and things like that. So that's a huge reward.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we win.
Let's go.
Students win, the teachers win, the students are hired in. So it's a win-win-win.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And then, when you're kind of defining these curriculum programs and you're helping the teachers, which I love that concept. I love that you are willing to work with the teachers and develop them. I'm sure there's a program set up where that's, either provided training or sponsored by the school or whatever. But I love that concept. What skills are you focusing on or prioritizing to shape the next generation of the workforce?
Skills and then also your professional skills as well. So when we're training teachers, we're focused on the technical skills like robot safety, number one.
Nice.
Integrating a robot into your environment so it is safe, robot operations, programming, and then we donate our robot studio licenses for free to schools. So simulation using digital twins, things like that. But we also reinforce to the teachers that we've co-developed lab exercises on a physical robot, but also in simulation robot studio, so that the kids do, or students do get hands-on time. And I would say 80% of the curriculum we've co-developed and the training that we provide is hands-on, so that it's not just sitting in a classroom looking at PowerPoint slides, but you're actually learning things and working as a team and a group on challenges, on lab exercises, and then coming away with those professional skills of critical thinking, adaptability, working under pressure, and problem solving.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, those are all critical skills. Those are all critical life skills.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure.
But I think that's really important, because there's situations where, maybe companies have donated robots in the past and they kind of get stuck, in the corner. So really enabling the teachers to be able to operate them is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
and troubleshoot them.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, it's like saying, hey, I got this really sweet car in my garage and I didn't take driver's training, so it's sitting there collecting dust. Yeah, you have super sweet equipment in your lab, but if no one's here to help support you and train you, it's just going to become outdated. It's such a heartbreak and a shame to see that happen. So that's why it starts with investing in the teachers as well. There's so much investment that goes into to supporting this to be successful. And, I've communicated with several educators that say, I just got thrown into robotics. I've never had this in my life, but I went from wood shop now to robotics. What do I do? And I'm like, oh goodness, we'll help you. That's something that I've been with ABB for going on, a little over 11 years now. And that's something that I love about us is we don't just sell you something and let you go. We're there side by side, step by step, and we offer, we could do workshops for teachers and things like that. It's the support matters just as much as the technology does.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially, sometimes I can be robots were intimidating for me at first. I think, Courtney Fernandez. Mm-hmm. Back when she used to work at UR, I think she just helped me jog my first robot. And I was like, oh my God, what if I break it? And she was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to break.
Yeah.
But it can be intimidating because that is a really sweet piece of equipment. But it's like those people that buy the cars. Mm-hmm. You're right. It's like buying a Lamborghini or Ferrari.
Yeah. I'm saying, what if I crash it? Well, why don't you try to learn how to use it first? And then you can get it fixed.
I love that. I love it so much. I love ABB robots though. The demo at Automate this year was wild. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. I got a really slow time relapse video of that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. We met at Automate, what is it, 3 or 4 years? 3 years ago, I think.
3 years ago. And that will probably, when this podcast episode comes out, that'll be on my Ann Wyatt LinkedIn.
I remember.
That's the photo I'm going to share.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. I love that. What's your favorite ABB robot?
I really like the GOFA, our CRB 1500 or 15,000 robot. I really, really enjoy that because it's so versatile. You can use it in collaborative applications to do lab automation, 3D printing with plastics, collaborative arc welding, material handling, pick and place. I it's just such a adaptable robot to use and easy to program and things like that. So
that's really cool. That's a good one. That's my favorite. I like the Spider too.
Oh yeah, our Flex.
Yeah,
that's a fun.
Yes, I do. People are surprised by that. I think when I tell them that
it moves so fast, it's so mesmerizing to watch it just pick in place. Yeah,
that's it for me.
Yeah.
Like, it moves so fast, and it's like, oh, that's crazy. How's it doing that?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Christelle, I really appreciate your time today. I want to be cognizant of it because I know that you are super busy, and you're out ruling the world. You're out being a rock star. So I don't want to keep you, but for those that are interested in connecting, learning more about you, learning more about ABB and your educational programs that you have there, what's a good point of
The best way to reach me is through LinkedIn, and I'll always make time. I know everyone's busy, so I am extremely responsive. I'll always make time, always happy to connect with, anyone that reaches out, educators, students, industry leaders who want to talk about robotics, automation, and workforce development. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Christelle, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hang with you again. Where are you going to be next?
I'm doing a bunch of local United States events, but I will be at the A3 Forum in January. And that's as far forward as I can think right now. But yeah, lots of cool local events. So stay tuned on LinkedIn. I love posting videos and pictures of my adventures of, how we've touched lives in robotics and automation. You'll find out where I'm going and where I'm at by that. So thanks, Ann, so much for having me on your show. It's always fun.
Thanks, Christelle. And for everybody listening, make sure you follow Christelle, connect with her, reach out to her. She is an amazing human. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Workforce 4.0.
Thanks. Bye.